Greetings, fair citizens!
In this video, you'll see me design and draw 3 reimagined public domain superheroes from the 1930s and 40s. If you want to know more of my thoughts on these redesigns, as well as my sources of inspiration, check out the latest issue of my newsletter, linked below. For now,
Penflower Inc. Comics presents a public domain trinity!
some of the first art I ever shared online was redesigns, or rather reimaginings, of comic book superheroes. I did my fair share of Batman and Spider-Man redesigns, but eventually I discovered the treasure trove that is the catalogue of superhero characters that have fallen under the public domain. For this creative project, not only did I want to go back to that well, but also create my own DC-style trinity of reimagined public domain superheroes. First up was my Superman archetype for the Trinity, Magician from Mars. Technically speaking, I believe the Magician from Mars was the first female comic book superhero, or at least one of the earliest examples, it seems. A half-human, half-Martian teen from the future, living on Mars, she got reality warping powers after a classic bit of radiation exposure. She eventually travelled to planet Earth, where she decided to use her powers to help those in need. My version of the character, called Mage, has the same origins and powers, but is not from the future. I also opted for a more overtly alien appearance, complete with green skin, bulbous eyes, and a moth antenna type appendage to substitute the feathered turban she wore originally. While the original character concept has a very strong sword and planet, John Carter of Mars feel to it, I think there are also quite a few commonalities with the famous Kryptonian. Like my favourite depictions of Superman, I see Mage sticking to her principles of altruism no matter what, and not being beholden to any one country or state government. She is a beacon of hope for all people, whatever planet they call home. Next was my Batman archetype, a stealthy gadgeteer. For this role, I chose the amusingly named Microface. In the original comics, Tom Wood is a failed inventor whose brother is killed by gangsters, prompting him to don a high-tech mask and become a costume vigilante. His mask grants him enhanced hearing and vision, as well as the ability to tap into phone lines and throw his voice to trick or intimidate. For having a gimmick that, in my opinion, is incredibly well suited for a stealthy character working from the shadows, Microface's original costume and approach to crime fighting was anything but subtle. For my reimagining, I ditched the red, purple and green outfit. Tamsin Wood wears a sleek stealth suit along with a much more streamlined micromask. I didn't want the suit to be completely flat, however, so I added some parallel lines down the front to represent sound waves. Instead of tapping into phone lines, I see Tamsin being well versed in hacking and coding, adapting her skill set for the modern age. I see her using her tech to take on systemic injustices rather than common street crime. She can use her tech to frighten and trick those in power into confessing their misdeeds, record evidence, and share it with the world. For all those whose cries for justice go unheard, she will become the voice. Lastly was my Wonder Woman archetype, a magical warrior from an ancient time. This time I chose one part of what was originally a duo, Boy King and his giant. Specifically, the giant. Originally, David the Boy King is the ruler of a made-up European country called Swisslachia, which is invaded by the Nazis during World War II. After most of his country's population is killed, he learns from his dying father that the royal family has access to a huge stone giant that only they can control. Leaving that piece of information a little late, but that's the monarchy for you, I suppose. Anyway, the Boy King uses the giant to kick out the Nazis, and then move himself and what remains of the Swisslachian people across the ocean to become citizens of the United States of America. Hardly the place to go to if you're trying to get away from fascism, but oh well. David abdicates, but still wears his king outfit to fight crime, only sometimes getting help from his giant. The giant apparently never got any sort of characterization in the comics, and remembering that in some versions of her backstory, Wonder Woman was originally sculpted from magical clay, I thought I would give him a redesign to fill her role in the Trinity. My reimagined giant is from a far more ancient time, having rebelled against the child ruler who awakened them and obtaining both self-determination and knowledge of magic. They obtain an amulet from the sorcerer who created them, which gives them the power to shrink and grow in size. They have roamed the earth for thousands of years, learning about the world, protecting the weak, and helping the needy along the way. And there we have my public domain trinity, a trio of redesigned and reimagined superheroes from the golden age of comics. Mage, the alien beacon of hope, the Voice, a stealthy tech genius, and Giant, the towering titan from another age. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, and would like to see more of my work, be sure to subscribe to my free newsletter over on Patreon. Links to that, as well as my website and itch.io store, are all in the video description below. Until next time,